the forgotten Church of the Transfiguration, once the center of Buffalo's large Polish community. They'll look for the church's bells there, which in a weird way might help save the endangered building.
So where's the church?
But in a city where hundreds of steeples pierce the landscape, how do you set about identifying an abandoned Polish church? The answer is, you go straight to the old neighborhood. In this case, it's Buffalo's East Side, once known as the Polish side of town.
We're driving through what was once the second largest Polish-American community in the U.S. In the mid-1800s in Poland, things were pretty grim. There was war, there was poverty. So a lot of the Poles packed up and moved to Buffalo's East Side. Soon, the concentration of Poles became so great that the city's residents took to calling this area Buffalo's Polonia.
But starting in the 1960s, as Buffalo entered an economic downturn, Polish Americans started fleeing Buffalo for the wealthier, safer suburbs, boarding up their homes, their delis, and their precious churches.
Whoa! There it is! Look at that thing! The Tower of Power.
As the team suspected, the Church of the Transfiguration, or Trans Church, is in the heart of the old Polish neighborhood. The last time parishioners attended Mass here before the church shut down was in 1994, almost a century after its cornerstone was laid down in 1896.
Hey, you guys! I'm in!
Brittany's got to weigh in.
Here!
Nice.
Leave it to Brittany.
Yeah.
How'd you get in?
I found this cute little window.
Cute window?
Now that they're in, their main objective is to find out if the church bells are still there, ring them, and learn why these artifacts are so important to this forgotten ruin.
All right, what's the plan?
I want to climb with Timmy today.
All right.
Good luck.
Timmy and Bryce head upstairs to hunt for the church bells.
Bell towers are up, Timmy. We got to ring that bell. Like, let's check out this way first.
Okay, cool. Oh, this goes over the main part of the church.
Yeah. What I found interesting about the church was the selective use of steel in the construction. Most of it was built out of wood and brick, but the columns in the congregation where the altar was steel, probably cast iron, and steel was really expensive back in the 1890s, so it was a good indication that they wanted this thing to last, the church to be built, and they didn't want to spare any expense.
Right underneath them, Brittany and Steve are looking for artifacts left behind by congregations of the past.
One neat thing about the church was that it was built by the community that then worshiped there. The parish was formed in 1893 and the church was built in 1896. So it's obvious that these families loved the parish enough to put in enough money to build this really incredible building in a space of 3 years.
Oh, wow. Look at the stained glass.
Look at it does. When we were in the church, we noticed a bunch of holes in the roof, and that's actually from a recent attempt to demolish the building. It's been abandoned about 10 years now, and so developers just want to raise the whole thing and turn it into a parking lot or something. But a local group made up of former parishioners is fighting really hard to keep their old church standing.
Up next on Urban Explorers, Timmy's quest for church bells leads him to a precarious balancing act.
I'm gonna cruise over and take a look at the bells. What?
Buffalo's boarded-up Church of the Transfiguration, once the cornerstone of Buffalo's large Polish Catholic community. Timmy and Bryce are high up in the building rafters, looking for the church bells that may or may not still be here.
Bells.
Does it look like there could have been bells there?
No, I don't think there are.
Is there any view of anything?
Yeah, it's a beautiful view of the entire structure. I'm gonna cruise over so I can get to the steeple and take a look at the bells. What? You can come over, right? Cruise across.
You want me to follow your lead right now?
Yeah, just come on over. Just you have a good, healthy sense of balance.
The Trans Church steeple is 180 feet high, which means that Timmy's balancing act is taking place close to 150 feet above the street.
Like what, the stairs?
Timmy's a world-class
Those
climber.
aren't very fun, right?
Please do not try this at home.
When I'm on top of the church beam, there's definitely a healthy feeling of fear. If I wasn't afraid, then I wouldn't be aware of the objective hazards. No, it looks like the louvers are too thin for me to fit in, but I think I actually see some cables coming down from like a floor. It could be the bells, I'm not sure, but this has got to be where they are in the steeple.
Okay, come on back and we'll get up there another way.
Timmy and Bryce soon find their way over and up into the church steeple.
Here they are. We got them.
You got them?
Yeah.
They're actually here?
Uh-huh.
No way.
They didn't get rid of them, which is surprising.
Oh, wow.
Their quest has paid off, and both guys know that the bells here have a relevance that goes far beyond today's exploration.
One of the first things they do when they shut down the Catholic Church to fully deconsecrate it is remove the bells. And so that's why I was totally surprised to find that the bells were still there, because technically that means that it's still a Catholic church.
It's just a little bit of insurance, but the fact that these bells are still here might help save this unique piece of history.
Hey, this one's 1893, dude.
Oh, this one's filled with crap.
I wonder how that, maybe it sounds more like, instead of dong, it sounds like dung.
How do you figure you ring one of these babies?
Just really rail the hammers.
Okay.
Just push the hammer
Okay,
super hard
I'm gonna-
into them. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, those guys must have found the bells. You hear that?
Hear ye, hear ye.
All right. Perfect.
Let's go back down and wait
Get
for
down
him.
so we can meet them.
I'd never been able to ring bells like that. I mean, it felt like I was calling the congregation in to pray or something. Accomplished our mission.
Yeah, nice work.
Rang them. We called the sheep home. Brittany! Donkey!
Hey, guys, nice work. We heard the bells.
You hear that?
That's great.
Nice. All right, how about getting something to eat, you guys?
Buffalo wings.
After their successful church exploration, the teams earned itself a visit to the Anchor Bar. In this hallowed place, some 40 years ago, was first served up the sauciest of bar foods, the buffalo wing. While they're here, they hope to get some leads to guide them to Buffalo's enormous grain elevators, which at one time were actually considered a national secret. But first, a taste and the story of Buffalo's most famous treat.
Take it.
Let's bring the suicide wings out. There's no way I'm gonna have one. I'm gonna leave it to Brittany. She likes the hot sauce.
You see the seeds? It's a pepper seed right there.
It was a hot October night in 1964 here at the Anchor Bar that owner Teresa Bellissimo first dipped some chicken wings into a spicy chili sauce of her own creation as an improvised late-night snack.
He likes the drumsticks.
I kind of feel it now.
You're starting to sweat.
Oh, dang.
Hot legs. Hot breast. Chicken breast. Chicken breast. Yes! All right, here we are. We're at the home of the Buffalo Wings, the Anchor Bar. Those guys are over there macking wings, drinking beers, but we got to get to the bottom of this. Where are the grain elevators? We got to get some information. Let's get to know some of the people of Buffalo. Do you know anything about the grain elevators here in town?
We haul grain out of there, we haul grain there, we haul grain out.
Yeah. And where was the grain coming from? Was it coming from the wheat belt out west?
Yep, and was it coming in by ships?
Yeah, coming in across the lake.
Coming across the lake. We'd unload it and take it over to the plants along there, and they make all kinds of stuff out of it.
Where would they be in relation to us, the home of the Buffalo
You gotta
Wing?
go over the Skyway,
Okay.
and it's just over the Skyway. Can't miss them.
Yeah, it's obvious. Giant granaries.
Yeah, overlooking the lake.
Buffalo may be best known for inventing chicken wings. But as Timmy found out, what made Buffalo one of America's wealthiest cities at the turn of the century was an entirely different commodity: grain. From the Midwestern breadbasket, grain was loaded onto trains or barges that came straight to Buffalo, where it was offloaded and stored in massive silos until it continued on south or east along the Erie Canal, and eventually onto Europe.
So what Sam told me was he used to work down here. He owns a construction company now, and he was a little fuzzy on the details, but he said something about the fact that such barges would pull up that were so big that they would lower 3 giant bulldozers inside the hull to push the grain into the elevator where it would go up and fill the silo. That's how much wheat grain they're pulling out of the Midwest. That's why the United States could basically feed the world.
Buffalo's prime waterfront location along Lake Erie and the Buffalo and Niagara Rivers made it the ideal grain port. The grain elevators that lined the rivers along the city's south side were so vast and so efficient that at their height they could store close to 50 million bushels of grain. That's enough to make a loaf of bread for everyone on Earth. In 1915, Buffalo built its biggest concrete grain elevator, a quarter-mile-long behemoth called Concrete Central.
What do we know about this place? Who talked about
Concrete Central shut down in 1966. It's now a 40-acre industrial relic that's a haven for graffiti artists and paintballers.
Yeah.
You sure this is the way, Brett?
Hey,
Hey, you guys, you want to split up? This place is pretty big.
yeah.
It's a smart move to split up if they're going to figure out how this rusted-over giant once worked.
We can see that.
We'll see you